Hey, it's Logan Christopher, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make clarified butter or ghee. It's really quite a simple process, although it might sound difficult in the beginning. Really simple. You need about a pound. Of course, you can adapt this to bigger or smaller amounts of unsalted butter. I would recommend you use grass-fed butter, because cows are supposed to eat grass. So we have Kerrygold unsalted butter here, widely available in many places. Then you're going to need a wide bottom pan that's going to make this process work better than something that's narrow, something to stir with, of course a heat source, and some sort of strainer. I have a bag here. You can also use cheesecloth or other things, and a jar to put your finished product into. So let's move over to the stove and we'll get started with this. Okay, we start with putting the butter on over medium-high heat.
A few moments later.
Some methods will say to scrape this foam off the top, but other ones say specifically not to. What I'm going to do is to leave it in there. At this point I've turned down the flame. I'm going to allow it to continue cooking. Okay, it's been almost 12 minutes, so testing to see if it's done. Didn't seem quite to be. Looking for a crackling noise when we add a drop of water. Okay, seems pretty good there, so turn it off the heat. Alright, now going to pour the ghee. Looks like it needs a slightly bigger jar. So you'll notice the very golden color there. And you'll see, you can see kind of white specks in here. That's some of the proteins being cooked off of the ghee, which is the main, I'd say, difference between ghee and butter is there's still some of the proteins remaining in butter. Whereas if you make a good ghee, there should be virtually nothing in there as far as any carbohydrates, any proteins at all. It's going to be almost pure fat, as well as the fat-soluble micronutrients and various things in there. Let's see, I can fit a little bit more in there, so putting this back in. Now, if your ghee turns out brown, as opposed to this golden color, that means you've burned it, you've gone on too long with that process. So you definitely want to go for something like this. As you've seen, it's actually a pretty simple process to make this, at least this way. There are other ways, more advanced ways of making ghee, but you should be able to get started with this. And as far as those little bits that are left, you can eat them and they taste quite good, very cheesy. But depends on if you want to have that protein or not. So even people that are sensitive to the different parts of dairy, lactose, there's going to be none of that in here. Whey and casein, if you got good made ghee, it's not going to have any of those proteins, so even people with dairy sensitivities can have this. Of course, this is hot, so be careful. in working with it. That's it. There you go. Check it out. Go ahead and try to make some ghee. And in the next video in this series, I'm going to show adding some of our herbs, specifically gotu kola, into this because using ghee as an herbal delivery system is something they've done for a long time in Ayurveda. So I'm going to show you one method of doing that.